Hello. Oh, it's really dark, this. So this is our Thursday Night Live. I'm doing it on YouTube. So hopefully you found it. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell if you are watching this, because it's nice to get notifications when somebody's doing something, especially if it's of interest. If it's not of interest, then you don't need to do that. But I'm presuming if you're watching this, then it is of interest to you. I get a bit confused sometimes where I'm posting and what I'm doing. So I'm just checking that it is Parent Plus that I'm doing it. And happy beginning of the summer holidays. It sounds a bit weird saying that, seeing as though the majority of us, I would imagine, haven't had our kids in school since March on a permanent basis. Back to all the key workers and NHS workers and the rest that have been working throughout and had their children in school. I take my hat off to you. I've been working from home throughout. Well, I work from home anyway, so yeah, it sounds a bit weird. I've just had to shift everything to online rather than face-to-face, which took me a while to do. A big shout out to my eldest son, Carl, who I'm no doubt you'll have seen him pop up doing various things. I do tend to share what he does. He was raising money for the Samaritans. He has suffered from PTSD in the past, anxiety and various things like that. So he was doing 25 press-ups for 25 days with a friend of his out in the military. My son used to be in the military, so he was doing that. But he did all my online stuff. He set up my website. He's done my website for me. He was harassing me last night to have a web chat thing on there. So yeah, he's done all of that. So basically, I'm completely 100% online now, and I've kind of made the decision that it's going to stay that way until September at the earliest, when Kai goes back to school full time, and he'll be in his last year. He's missed quite a bit this year. So I'm not sure how the GCSE stuff is going to work. There has been talk about them dropping some subjects and concentrating on the core subjects, which would be a shame, because I think the creative side of things doesn't always get the credit it deserves in school. My son does music as a GCSE. He plays in a brass band, which I love listening to a brass band. We've not done any concerts, obviously, since COVID reared its head, but we do all the walking days in our local area, and I love marching with the band. Can't play an instrument. I'm tone deaf. They keep trying to get me to play some big brass instrument, and I'm not musical at all. But he took to it like a duck to water, and it's one of the few things. I'm not sure whether I can think of anything else really that crosses the generations. I think the youngest in the band is probably 6 or 7 now, and the oldest is probably in their 80s. So it's across the whole generation, and it's lovely. It's lovely to see the young kids with the older ones, and the older ones passing on their knowledge to the young. It's an amazing group. I would recommend anybody joining a brass band. But anyway, I digress. Yes, welcome to the summer holidays, and it's rained for the past 2 weeks, which is typical summer holiday weather. If anybody's got any questions, I'm sure you can hit the chat button somewhere, and I can answer them live as I'm talking. And if you're watching this on the replay, then feel free to comment underneath and I will get back to you. That's not a problem at all. So, as I said, I've switched everything online now. I've now got a training hub where I've got a couple of courses on there that are £1. There are some that are more expensive. And over the past couple of weeks, I've been doing an awful lot around anxiety. I was a guest speaker on an anxiety support summit that was run by 2 amazing chaps, one called Nikki and one called George. I think that finishes today, but there was 25 people talking about their experience and expertise and words of wisdom and everything. all together. I think there was over 7,500 attendees, which was absolutely amazing. So following on from that, I decided to do a free week on anxiety over on my psychotherapy group. And I thought it might be of interest to people in the Parent Plus group, because none of us are immune to anxiety of any description. And I'm not sure whether sometimes we kind of think that, I don't know, it's okay to be anxious about certain things and not other things. We tend to have filters. I'm not sure if you saw the talk that I did with my daughter in here that I posted earlier on in the week. And she does get very emotional talking about going back to work. She's took extended leave from the military, but she has to go back within the next few months. And she overthinks that. She gets anxious. In fact, he's going back to nurse. If Michelle's watching this, I hope you don't mind me talking about you. Maybe I should have checked first, but Alfie's going back to nursery soon because Michelle's working hours are changing and things like that. And she was saying that, you know, we went out today and he was playing on his own. He's really good at occupying himself and playing on his own. And I said to her, I said, oh, he's going to love it when he goes back to nursery and he's mixing with, you know, his own type, kids of his own age and everything. And she was like, yeah, but I'm not sure what room he's going into, and he might be in a different room and we're not allowed to go in and we've just got to let them go, and he's not been there for ages. And, you know, and you could tell that her mind was working overtime. And I was like, whoa, stop. This is all your thoughts. This is what you think he's going to be like. I said, my thoughts about him are he's going to love it. There'll be children of his own age. There'll be so many toys. He's got a big room. He's moving up a level. He's not going back in the room that he was in because he's over 2 now. So he's like in the big boys' room where they'll have different toys and they'll all be running amok. And I've worked in nurseries and I know how difficult it is. So big shout out to all the nursery workers out there too. So yeah, my thoughts are that he's just going to come on leaps and bounds and he's going to love it. And she was saying about he's kind of just about coming out of nappies now. And, you know, what about if he wets his pie? How many trousers do I have to take to him? I said, put whatever you want in the bag. They have spare ones. You know, he'll probably come home wearing somebody else's pants, but don't worry about it. So we all get anxious for different things. We all filter certain things. We worry about different things depending on, you know, what's going on in our life. So I thought I would just mention it in this talk so that if anybody was interested, it's over on my psychotherapy group. I'll put the link in underneath here when I've done, but it's free. What I'm going to be doing is something similar to this, a live video every night at 8:30 from Monday to Friday, where you can post privately and ask questions and I'll answer them live, obviously keeping it anonymous. Because it is on an open page, I can't guarantee confidentiality. So just be mindful of that. But any general anxiety questions about yourself, whether you're a parent, about your children, you know, family members, if you're just curious about things, if you kind of worry, overthink, not necessarily suffering from anxiety, but just, yeah, being a human being can be quite stressful sometimes. So it's just a space where you can chat and ask questions and offer words of wisdom that you might have to other people. So I thought I'd just talk a little bit about that. And I think that's about it, really. I haven't had any questions. I haven't had any topics that anybody wants me to talk about. But yeah, it's the beginning of the summer holidays. I hope the weather picks up. Things are lifting a little bit. Or any of you having a staycation? I'm not got anything planned. Yeah, I'm not a big holiday person, to be honest. Yeah, I don't know why that is. I think as I'm saying that, and I say I don't know why that is, it's probably because as I was growing up, we never really had holidays. I can remember a couple where we went to Southport, I think, Pontins at Southport. I was usually shipped off to my cousin's house for a week and then she came to us for a week, and that was pretty much the holidays. We didn't really do package holidays or anything. So it's not something that I really looked forward to almost. I'm quite neutral about holidays. I like to chill. I like days out. I like doing things like that. But I'm one of those people that always gets homesick about Wednesday. I can cope Monday to Wednesday, but then once Wednesday comes, it's like, yeah, I want to go home now. So long weekends are nice. You know, thankfully, I've not passed that on to my children. My children are constantly globe-trotting all over the place. Usually just with a backpack, and they'll say, see you later, and I'll be back, and I'll ring you when I'm back in the country, which is lovely. So yeah, that's me. If you've got any questions, if there's anything you want to ask me, then feel free to do that. Have you all stopped homeschooling now? That was something I wanted to ask. I was speaking to Kai about it, much to his dismay. I was saying, well, you might as well just carry on. You know, I think it's GCSE pod that he uses. I was saying you might as well just carry on and do a bit of that GCSE pod over the summer holidays. It's not, he's got to do, is it when an inspector calls, he's got that book to read, that's what he's doing for his GCSE. He won't kill you to do a bit extra. He was mortified. So I'm not sure what the general consensus of that is, whether should, I'm not keen on that word, whether we should be homeschooling during the summer holidays, or whether that's it, you've called a truce now. Not doing it. We're on holiday now until September, when hopefully things will return to some sort of normality. So anyway, that's me. I shall go and speak to you all this time next week, if not before. Don't forget, if you're interested in the free week on anxiety, I'll put the link. Feel free to pop over and just introduce yourself. And other than that, I shall speak to you all very soon. Take care. Have a good weekend.